Mirror, mirror, fogged and loud. What truth today makes the future proud? So, like many of you yesterday, I was completely absorbed with the Alex Preddy shooting. I basically was watching content, doing social for not kidding, like 10 hours. And I made phone calls for about 4 hours trying to demand his cell phone footage be released because they are doing the manufacturing process with all of these shootings. Um, Renee Good a couple weeks ago, and now Alex Preddy. They already know exactly what they're going to say. They know exactly what they're going to do. We are all in shock and outrage, but for them, it's just a hazard of their federal duties, their targets, um, impeding law enforcement operations. They think of everyone against them as subhuman. The ICE guys talk about killing people like it's Grand Theft Auto. So all of our outrage, all of our moral high ground, it almost does nothing. And it hit me so hard this morning. This is exactly why I howl about the next 9-year cycle. Because if we allow it, the news, the media, our supposed government, they will drag us around with a carrot and completely distract us from everything, suck up our time, our energy, our thoughts, our full Saturdays. And sadly, probably not much is going to happen. They've determined the outcome. They've given ICE absolute immunity. And so our outrage, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's going to do much. So that is not to say we shouldn't do things. It is not to say we shouldn't try to hold power accountable. But we cannot let it take over our lives. The last 9 years, they were in the driver's seat. They drug us around every single day with a new tragedy, a new news story, a new problem, a new issue. That is how this administration, and let's be frank, our government in general runs, and how the world runs. Keeping us distracted, keeping us off kilter, keeping us sad, depressed, in pain. I mean, so many of us feel actual pain when things like this happen. We actually feel like it happened to us or to one of our family members. We feel it so deeply. When you read Alex's parents' letter, you feel it so deeply. At least awakened or on the way to being awakened people. But you might as well be speaking a different language. They don't see it that way. The side of extraction, the side of evil. And this is not about political parties. This is about human ascension, awareness, awakening, self-actualization. So no more. I have to remind myself, no more letting them control my day, letting them control the narrative, letting them wrench our hearts and our minds and our souls. I just read a Facebook friend's post about, feeling stocked up for the ice storm, yet couldn't sleep because she was thinking about Alex all night. And it's like, of course, there are going to be days like Alex. There's going to be days like Renee. And it's not okay. But I can't help but feel that the only way out of this is to build in the cracks of the extraction machine, of the chaos machine, of the matrix's machine. So I'm not watching any news today. I'm going to pretty much stay off social, except to share some content about the new 9-year cycle. And it's so interesting that they've chosen January in Minneapolis when it's below zero, when it's the start of the new 9-year cycle. And they get advice from everywhere. You don't think they've got psychics and remote viewers and all these different types of people that they consult with, or somebody does? I mean, kings and queens have been doing it from the beginning of time. Seers, um, gypsies. I mean, whatever you want to say, like, I wouldn't doubt if they, chose to start the new 9-year cycle in as much chaos as possible. So they can control the narrative the next 9 years. So they can control our lives the next 9 years again. And I was really guilty the last 9 years. How many hours, how many emotional days, how many marches, how much money spent opposing this administration and trying to fight back and trying to do what's right, regardless of who's in power. And they don't care about us. They do not care about us. Even the side that pretends to care about us doesn't really care about us. They're lying to us. Frey and Walt say that the state is going to investigate, but they've got no real power because the BCA is already saying, it's a Homeland Security issue. So a state agency is already just deflecting, like, well, it's a Homeland Security issue. So it's all theater. Yes, maybe Frey and Walt actually believe that they can stand up to the government or something, but maybe they don't believe it and they just say it because they're part of the same machine. We don't know, because the machine is so corrupt. So corrupt. So we get back to it, Wampus Cubs. We get back to our 9-year vision, our 9-year cycle, our countdown to September 9th, 2034, and the new Festival of the New Earth. We keep building. We keep creating new systems. For me yesterday, I'm like, why isn't there a specific hashtag everyone's using? Why isn't the cops or the media or anybody answering? Trying to give a tip about what the BCA told me, trying to press for Alex Preddy's phone footage, because that seems like that would clear up a lot, because we could see him very obviously holding a phone, not a gun. So there needs to be a better flow of information, a way to communicate findings, a way to strengthen the story, a way to share tips, share whatever. I mean, the one lady in the pink jacket, I read something where she was terrified because she was the closest one with the best angle. She started running away once they started shooting. So, the flow of information is something we need to fix. The It's all so split up now with all the different social media networks, and, blue sky people don't want to use Twitter, and, all these things. But there still has to be a way to unify better. There still has to be a way to hold our media news more accountable. But again, that's such a massive undertaking. Everything we are fighting against is a massive undertaking. The patriarchy is tangled and woven into everything, and we are both untangling ourselves from it and building alongside it. So as it's falling, we're building up. So if yesterday was hard for you, give yourself a break today, whatever that means. A lot of countries icy, it's icy here, so driving is not smart anyway. It's Sunday. What can you do for yourself today? How do you extract from the machine? How do you not drown in the noise of the machine? So I'm working on a 9-year cycle life book to help everyone map what they really want, where they really want to be in 9 years. I mean, we talk about 1 year, sometimes 3-year goals, 5-year goals, but when you look at 9 years, I'll be 54. Where do I want to be? Who do I want to be around? What do I want to be doing? I mean, that's powerful. It's really powerful. When I think back to where I was at, 36, I don't want the next 9 years to, in some ways, slip by, warp speed, chaos speed. I don't want that for the next 9 years. I want slow. I want intentional. I want grounded. I want impactful, meaningful, intentional. I was not intentional yesterday. I got drug around by the news cycle. I got my, investigative journalism kicked in and start making phone calls. And it's not necessarily regret. I don't think what I did made any difference or made any impact, but I am going to be able to now, share kind of their blueprint and add to the manufacturing process blueprint that we already created, where they, create situations for you to fail. I mean, this whole ICE mission is designed to kind of make us all fail. We're going to act out. We're going to get distracted. We're going to, get depressed. I mean, we're going to react to all this chaos. And so today, if you can step outside of the chaos, if you can love who you love, do something for yourself, self-care, journal, think about that 2034 self. What is she saying to you? What does she want you to know? What does future you want you to know about how you get from here to there? They want to steal the life out of us. They want to suck the life out of us and the soul and the joy and the happiness out of us. They want us to be husked like them. They're, I guess you could argue, jealous of us, like the pure-hearted, the good-hearted, the people that care, the people that really want an equitable, fair, safe world for everyone. They think we're kind of like losers. They think we're pathetic. They think that we're immature even. To them, power is everything. Control is everything. Being on top is everything. So completely different set of values, completely different mindset. And as I will say over and over and over and over, and why I talk into a mirror, because they don't want to look in the mirror. That head of ice guy with his Nazi outfit, I mean, do you think he likes looking in the mirror? Do you think he has like deep, important conversations with himself? Do you think he has these soul check moments? I don't think so. Not saying he doesn't have a soul or heart left, but it's deep, it's buried deep, and it's screaming to get out. It's screaming for him to do the right thing. But his mind is warped. Their minds are manipulated. They've really been fed so many dark lies. So we're trying to fight darkness with light and goodness. And it's important, but I think it's even more important to shine our light through the cracks. What they did to Alex was horrible. And we need to hold our media accountable. Right? Like trying to hold the government accountable, our ICE. Whew, it's tough. But can we hold our media more accountable? Can we hold, I don't know. I don't know if you can hold politicians accountable right now. They've got, it's almost like they've carte blanche at this point, just like the ICE agents. What happens to Waltz if the state doesn't investigate? He can say it all day. We're going to investigate, period. What happens if that's not true? What are we going to do? Oh, well, I mean, he said it though. It's like, sure, he said it, and maybe he even believes it, and maybe he wants that to be what happens. But then reality's there. And does he know that he can't win? And so he's just saying it to appease us. I don't know. On that note, I don't know. Is he part of the machine, or is he actually trying to fight against the machine? Is he just saying words to appease us, or does he believe those words? I don't know. But that is why you have to be so true to yourself, who you are, what you want, where you're going. So check out riseofwampus.org/999. We've got 999 resources there for you to help you ask yourself those questions, have those conversations with yourself, think deeply about the next 9 years and what you want and where you want to end up. And always keeping an eye on your sovereignty. Where aren't you sovereign? Where aren't you independent? For many of us, our homes, this storm showed us, are we ready for no electricity, no water? That makes us too dependent on them. How do we rematriate our homes? How do we rematriate our lives? How do we rematriate our communities? So take care of yourself today, Wampus Cubs. Spend even 5 minutes thinking about 2034, talking to your future self, whether it's in the mirror, in your head, through a journal, type out a little letter from 2034 you to 2026 you. Try to reset. Try to reclaim today. Reclaim this week. Turn off the news if you can, or limit it. Pour into you. Pour into the shared future where we all are living in abundance. Not this chaos. Not this constant stress. Not this constant sorrow. But abundance and joy and love. We flood the world with that. Abundance, joy, and love. They got no chance. They got no chance. All right, Wampus Cubs. Remember, the future can always wish until morning. Stay safe. Stay sane. Take care of yourselves today.